Hello everyone, my name is Christian Reed and today we're going to do a quick overview of the BOLDR Pro Platform by REEKON Tools. So the BOLDR Pro Platform is replacing what everyone has already on the job site. So everyone's seen this before. You have notes, you have annotations on your iPad, on pieces of paper. And what the BOLDR Pro does is take our digital tape measure products and make it so that they transfer automatically to pre-templated fields with it. So this is saving both work in the field where it effectively becomes a fill-in-the-blank operation, and then in the office where you can view the measurements in real time. So the moment a measurement is populated, you have access to it in real time. You can see who made it, where it was made, put it into templates, export it to CSV files, put it over PDFs, and really consolidate the entire action from start to finish with it. So today we're going to run through a demo in the platform, see how it works, where it could benefit the company, and go through some applications. Okay, so here we are in the BOLDR platform. So normally this is something that can be run on a web browser as is pictured here, but also will run on a tablet and phone, which we'll talk about later and is more useful for people in the field collecting the measurements. So starting on here, this is a home screen. As you can see on the left pane here is how you organize projects. So very simple hierarchy. You can put projects into folders, organize projects together with it. And then you can see on the screen here at the top level, you have your project itself. Down here we have folders, so in this particular job we've organized it by floor, and then at the lower level here are jobs, and jobs are where all the data is stored and where most of the action happens in the applications with it. So generally this is how we navigate to pages, and then a few other options in the settings page. One, we can choose what units we want, so for in Europe we can pick any kind of metric units, inches, feet, decimals, whatever is easy, what tolerance we want displayed with it, so if it's a little bit easier to see in higher tolerances. And I will note on here that units are always saved in the highest most resolution in micrometers, so it doesn't matter if you save a measurement in say 1/8 of an inch, it's still going to store the actual value of it and just round it here, so you never lose any amount of information depending on what's displayed here. These are strictly for display purposes. And then finally on here we have team members. So this is where I would add other people to my organization and allow collaboration to happen. So maybe I'm making the templates in the office and then actually populating them in the field. Easy to add templates here. And then the final one on here is API keys. So again, lots of API access for developers who want to integrate it more into any application, ranging from Procore, any other applications you're using in AutoCAD or anything similar with it. So heading back to the home screen here in our project, we'll start off by looking at our first job folder. So going to go into Suite 611, which is a job that we've already started to populate with it. And you can see here, this is the opening screen with it. So the anatomy of how data works in the BOLDR Pro platform is by creating input fields and then populating them with measurements on it. So you can see here we have a combination of fields that have already been completed, as well as ones that haven't been completed yet, and represent templates which can be input for the width and height, and then the measurement will be populated and then turned into here. So you can see when the entire input or group, as we call them, is populated, it changes the header from gray to blue, indicating that all the measurements have been completed with it. So the high level group, so these are group titles up here with it. So you can see for the first set of them, these are windows that are being measured. So the group has a group header on here, a title. Individual measurements are all automatically labeled. So you'll see that each measurement on here has a unique label to it, indicating what group it correlates to. So you can see A1, A2, B1, B2, and so on with it. Down here we have the actual measurements, what units they're in, as well as what is the label of the actual measurement. So in this case, they were pulled from a template that have width and height, so it becomes very clear as to what each dimension populates into with it. So that's a high level, and again, every measurement or input field rather that's created in the BOLDR platform is part of a group, which you can see here with it. So looking into a group, going to the detail page with it. So if we click on any of these group headers, we can get a little bit more information about what the actual measurements were captured with it. So here you'll see who took the measurement, what time it was taken, and what device it came from with it. So you have a lot of traceability in terms of who took a measurement, where it came from with it. Two, you have additional attribute fields. So sometimes it's useful in this case to pick the color of the window. So here there's a drop-down menu for the operator in the field to be able to select what color the window was on it to provide those details. And finally, you have a note field on the bottom here with it. So sometimes things aren't always as binary as just capturing a measurement. It depends if you're measuring from drywall, from metal studs, from concrete. So this note field down here allows people in the field, both by typing in or using their voice, to enter any any notes that are applicable to the measurement captured here with it. So the detail page is going to give additional details about any of the measurements captured, who took them, when they were captured, and any other information in that regard with it. So you can see up here we have a couple different tabs. So a board view is very similar to what you'll see on mobile with it as a primary view, so it makes it very flexible and scalable whether you're looking at it on desktop, mobile, or tablet. If we navigate over to list view, this is a little bit more like a spreadsheet view with it. So again, as you'll find in the BOLDR platform, all this data is exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if I view H1 here and see it's 36 and 5/8 and go to board view and navigate over again, H1, 36 and 5/8 with it. So it doesn't matter where the information is seen, it's all linked to the same spot with it. So whether we put this over a PDF, which we'll look at in a couple minutes, it's all going to be exactly the same information on it. So here, same format, just displayed in a little bit more of a spreadsheet-like format. And again, at any time we can export to a CSV file. So you'll see up here, export to CSV. This would be when we complete the job and want to put the data back into a format so it can be ordered, managed, or otherwise put into some similar format with it. So this is the list view, and again, very similar in here if I want to make additional groups as well. So these represent sections, which a section very simply is just a set of headers on here. So you can see that this section has a name, a width, a height, and a color. This section has about 6 measurements with it. This one has a length, a width, a height, and a volume, which is calculated as a formula with it. So the only difference between section and groups is just what headers are on it with it. So on the board view, it appears exactly the same, but here we can see a group like this that has 6 inputs versus a group like this that has 2 is going to be represented in a different section on the table view with it. So pretty simple on here. Same thing, can access the detail page by clicking here and see any other information on it. And you can see here for this one, we actually added tolerances to it. So sometimes tolerances are useful in the field. You can see for this particular one, 36 and 5/8 was the measured measurement, 36 and a half inches the tolerance with a plus or minus 3/16 of inch on it in range with it. And you'll see on here that 36 and 5/8 will be represented by a green value indicating that it was in spec versus something like here. 37 we can see was out of spec with it. And if we see down here, we can see because the 37 inches is a half inch above the nominal value, which is out of range of the 3/16 plus or minus allowed with it. So a lot of additional features you can add to it as well, along with formulas. So in this last one, it's a formula of the volume. So length times width times height, outputting a volume with it. So a lot of additional features you can add as well to it, whether something is in range, whether you have a formula, or whether something is out of range and indicating the amount that it's out of range by, in this case, a half inch with it. So a lot of cool features you can add to it. And as you'll find, some jobs use all of them, some jobs use one of them. So really flexible in terms of how you architect that. So that's the list tab. Area map is where I would upload a PDF for the job with it. So in this case, I have a PDF of my floor plan of what I'm measuring, and I have a group of measurements. So Windows 611-1 was located here on the floor plan. Can open it here. I can see the measurements. If I wanted to add an elevation to it as well, I could go here. In this case, we actually just took a photo, which we'll click on. And you can see here for the photo, I've actually placed the measurements. Oops, let's try that one more time. In this photo, I've actually placed the dimensions over it that I'm trying to capture with it. So in this case, you can see the 70 inches referred to the length, the width rather, 58 and a quarter inches referred to the height. So you have a lot of flexibility in terms of what those refer to and how you have access to it a little bit further detail. So if I'm looking at this in the office, I can zoom in and say, okay, he measured to the metal molding on the top here. I know I need to deduct or add a half inch to the top or bottom with it. So adding a photo gives you a little bit more flexibility, and these lines are all fully editable. So again, as I'm in the field and I can do this on my iPad, I can place them here. I can add them as input fields or otherwise architect around in terms of how the measurements are saved and what goes on with it. So you have that on it. Let's see, what else do we have on this screen? So comments, sometimes we want to communicate with people in the field. So again, if I go to the group detail page, files, this is where any kind of images or PDFs are going to be stored. Measurements are where all the actual measurements are populated. And then the comments section or any kind of communication we're having with people in the field with it. So if I'm talking to someone in the field and be like, hey, I need another picture, I can simply enter that on here and have a comment thread which consolidates it again by the group it's referring to. So in this case, this specific window. And it also appears here on a consolidated tab as well. So this would allow me to view any comments that are in the job. So you can see I have sub comments for Windows 611-1, a couple for 611-2, and so on with it. So this is a common thread at the group detail page level where I can see comments for this particular window, comments for any job itself, and any groups that have comments with it, along with the files tab at the end, which is going to give me access to any kind of files I have here with it. So this leads us into the next way to add dimensions to a photo or PDF. So I'll go here to Group K, go to File, click on the photo, which are some cabinets that were being replaced with it. So you can see here a bunch of input fields were created to indicate two dimensions on the cabinet. So sometimes, like a window, it's very easy to specify a width and a height. For something like this, which maybe is a bit more ambiguous, we need to come up with some naming conventions that maybe this refers to cabinet door 1, 2, 3, 4. So the editor you'll see here works very similar to any other kind of PDF editor. So I can draw shapes on here with it. I can annotate things with it, whatever you want to do, add text over it, say, hey, this is cabinet 1, easy. So you can label things however you want with it, but where it becomes a little bit more dynamic is when we create input fields. So if I navigate over here and go to the line tool and say, hey, I need the width and height of this particular door over here with it, all I need to do is draw a line here, and you'll see an input field is automatically created. Same thing over here. So now I have input fields automatically created. If it's a little bit too big, I can click on this, go over to the sidebar, make it a little bit smaller, maybe make it easier to see. So you have a lot of adjustability and flexibility in terms of how this works. And then now, again, this is not just a text field. This is text. So if this is on here, this is not going to appear anywhere else in the software, where on here, these are dynamic input fields and linked, as you can see here, to K7 and K8 we created in our detail page. If we go back to the main screen, you can see we created it as well. And let's say we measured K7 and it was 36.5 inches big. The measurement populates here. And let's go back to the page to see it populate on here as well. So everything is dynamically linked together. And you can see here that the measurement K7 is not only populated on the PDF, it's populated on the detail page, populated on the board view page here, and populated on the table view page here with it. So the real value of the BOLDR Pro platform is that all the input fields are dynamically linked together. So this could be created in the field, and the moment that it's saved, I'll have access to it, assuming someone in the field has an internet connection with it. So it really makes the entire process unified and collaborative for not waiting for someone to finish the job and submit the entire process to you, that the moment a measurement is created, it's populated and updated everywhere in real time simultaneously, and allowing you to have full access to it across the board. So I can be in the office and use this as a visibility as to what the status of a job is in the field. And if you go actually back to the project screen with it, you can see down here you have a little bit of a status bar as to how many of the measurements have been created. So this allows me as a project manager in the office to go through my projects and say, hey, we haven't really started on Suite 615, but 611 looks like we're about 70% of the way done. Oh, looks like we have an out-of-spec measurement here with it, so I'm able to maybe call or give a message on the comment section and be like, hey, you know, if that's 37, if measurement J1 is 37.5 inch out of spec with it, why don't we shim it now versus have to go back out tomorrow and do it when it comes back to the office? So the real-time collaboration is really essential to this whole process and shows how easy it is to collaborate in real time with it. So that's the overview of how the desktop platform works. So now let's jump a little bit more into how the mobile side of things work out on a tablet and a phone. Okay, so here we are now on a phone and tablet. You can see the same exact information we were just viewing on the desktop is immediately viewable here on a mobile device. So again, it doesn't matter if it's an iOS iPhone, an Android tablet, or anything in between, it's going to be able to display the same information, and generally this is where the information gets populated with it. So let's say I'm measuring over here on window, what is this, 611-6. All I need to do is start off by hitting the width. I can take my T1 Tomahawk, T1M Utility, or Bosch Laser Rangefinder and directly input the measurements on it. So let's say I take my first measurement, 16 and 15/16, hit the save button, and you'll see it'll not only populate on a device it's connected to via Bluetooth, but also share it over the internet. So again, if I was viewing this on desktop, I would have the same real-time information. So we'll do it again, run through it on this measurement here, and you can see just how fast it populates. So I'll extend a little bit more of the tape measure, hit the save button, and again, it's going to go from here to here via Bluetooth and then here to here over the internet and show just how quickly it is to collaborate in real time. So save button, you see it's a near instant interaction. Same thing if I hit the top one, I can see the detail page on who took the measurement, what time it was created with it, add any field notes I see with it, go back to the main screen if I want to add photos to it. So everything you can do on the desktop, you can also do between the phone and the tablet with it, and really makes the real-time collaboration very streamlined with it. So that's the general premise of it. So again, I'm setting up jobs in the office. You can also set them up in the field as well if it's something that maybe you don't have PDFs for ahead of time or know exactly what the layout is like until you get on site with it. So pretty interchangeable between how you populate it, and you can see it'll automatically advance the next one with it. So it goes very quickly through the process. I don't need to click each time. It'll automatically progress to the next one with it and makes it a super streamlined process with it. So hope that gave you all a good overview of the BOLDR Pro platform. In the next couple of videos, we'll go through actually making some jobs from scratch with it, as well as answering any questions you have with it. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next video.